But we're just starting along. One thing I do want to point out first and foremost is this octave before we do anything else. What is that telling you to do?
It's written below the staff, so it's an octave lower.
Yeah, it's written below the right hand. Now I will tell you that in piano music, generally speaking, this is kind of unusual. And so there has been some confusion that I've seen with this. Typically, you would just write it the actual octave lower. Why do you think she did that, though?
Pretty low.
Because it's going to get lower, and it would be hard to write the second system right lower.
Could be, although keep in mind though, this A, an octave lower, is that A.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So yeah, it does go lower, so you're right about that. But she also could have written it in bass clef, right? And then changed. But I think the reason she did it that way is to keep it more unified and easier on the eye. So I think that's the reason it's written that way. But I just wanted to let you know, for your information, that that's unusual, yes.
Isn't there normally like a different way to write that if it's lower, instead of putting below the staff as like a VA or something like that? Like a different VB?
Oh, yes. I've seen that, yes, that does happen. But usually, though, it still doesn't apply to the first staff above. Because usually in the treble clef, if it's lower like that, what they'll do is either write it in bass clef or actually write it low. Because that E would have 3 ledger lines written, which does exist in the literature. But for this, I think it's just visually easier because you recognize the fact that this pattern, what color? Okay, blue. This pattern is exactly this. It's just she wants it an octave lower. So I think it helps to think that way. So that's why I'm going on about this, just to point that out. But it is unusual in the piano repertoire. So, as we said, same figure, but not an octave. Same figure again, slightly altered, right? Bum, bum, ba-dum. It's still the same here. Bum, bum. What key is this piece in?
A minor.
A minor, yeah. How do you know that?
It starts and ends on A.
Starts and ends on A. What's the other classic?
There's no flats or sharps.
Correct. There's no flats or sharps. And it definitely ends on A. Despite this weird chromatic stuff going on, it's definitely A. You even hold the pedal through so that A is.
There's an A at the top of that.
So would it be melodic like?
Actually, that would be a Lydian minor. So we won't even go there because it's the fourth. It's a raised fourth, but it's minor. So that's very jazzy, which it fits. But yeah, we don't worry about that. Lydian minor is not something you can worry about. Okay. So, where does this come back? Yeah, 19. So it's familiar territory. Same deal. Exactly the same. Again, the same, but this time we've got the octave lower again. We go back up, same material. And then same material, but with the octave. Yeah? Okay. What other patterns do you see looking at this right now? What do you notice elsewhere?
The bass.
The bass? Yeah, what about the bass? And then I'll come back to you.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like measure 4, and then it starts at measure 4 through like a while, and then measure 12,
Yeah.
and then like the half notes.
Yeah, the half note pattern. Just a walking bass down, just like jazz. Bum, bum, bum. The second time it happens, each time though, is we have, let me use a different color. We have this, I can't go that low. And we have still the same, except that last note, the second time, goes up the fifth. Then it repeats again. So you've got the same thing 3 times with that slight alteration. Then you've just got a parallel octave motion with one's right hand to it. Then we start over again. Same thing. Same nuance in the pattern. And then it mimics the right hand again. Mimics the right hand, mimics the right hand. So that's really just the left hand. There's like one main figure, right? That's a really good thing to notice.
I was going to say the right hand starts on A and kind of ends with a da 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 da, and then it starts on measure 13. It's almost exactly the same sequence, just an octave higher.
It's, yeah, good. So what Olivia's saying is that this sequence here that we find at measure 5, ba-da-da-ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-dum, bum-bum. And also notice that this sequence here is this exact sequence with that one added note instead of the time. So it's all very similar. Bum 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 bum. Now this, what is similar about this and this?
It's the same sequence, just the measure 10 is lower.
Yeah. If you cover that up, it is exactly the same sequence, and then it's just an added note. Then you've got a repeated pattern. Then as Olivia said, again, this here, same exact thing, same exact thing, same exact thing, same exact thing. It is exactly the same, an octave higher. Then, oh wow, exactly the same, an octave higher. This whole section, right hand to here, repeats an octave higher. It's in here. Not bad, huh? Make sense? Very pattern-based. Lastly, let's talk about your tempo marking. First of all, let's talk about the tempo. What are they telling you? Well, they're saying moderate blues swing. So it's, first of all, moderate blues. Is it fast, slow? It's kind of, yeah. It moves, but it's kind of lazy. It's a lazy move. Right? So not too fast. Not anything crazy. But what's that swing mean? What does that 8 note set
Means
tell you?
that 8 notes aren't going to be 1 and, they're going to be like 1 and, they're going to be swung.
Yeah, exactly. So what that means is they give you these 2 8 notes, bum, 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 equals that triplet figure. Bum, 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 bum. Basically what that means is, if I played it as 2 straight 8 notes, it would sound like this. Well, actually, no, I swung it. Hold on. It would sound like this. So it's kind of cool, but if I do the swing, we've got da-ya. I'm sorry, I played the wrong octave. See, it's confusing me too. It's okay. Dance and is. Make sense? How about pedal? What do we do with that lastly?
On the very
Yeah.
end.
Doesn't mark anything. Could you do it if you so choose? Sure, but you'd have to use your ear. Like for example, I pedaled a little here. I did it just to give it that extra emphasis. I just put it down here, and I put it pedal. Don't really need it to drive sound. I think it's more stylistic. Even quieter, right? A little more. Yes.
Is it like typical to have all the dynamic markings in between the treble and bass, like in a piano piece?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or choir, it's always above the staff.
So that's actually a good point that she just brought up about music in general. And she says, is it typical for the the dynamic markings to be put between the treble and bass clef for piano? Yes, typically that is the case. Now, she compared it to choral music having it above different things, but why would that be?
They're so many different then?
You have to specify which line that you want something. If the soprano needs to be louder than the alto, then they have to distinguish between the two. Now, in piano, it does happen sometimes that they will do the same thing. They'll put it above or below to say, this voice needs to be louder. But generally speaking, pianists usually know that there is a certain inherent shaping that you have to do. Melodies should be more, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's a good general music point. Questions? Oh, the pedal in the end though. Definitely pedal through that. Let that A sound. And then like a little color. Yes.
You're supposed to use your right hand for is that all your left hand or just the D sharp?
The last chord.
Yeah.
I was playing the D sharp with my left hand, the
And then-
E and A with my
okay,
right. Yeah.
Great.
And why would I do that necessarily? I mean, you could do it with one hand either way, but the way that they write the D sharp with the stem down and stem up for the
Yeah.
E and A, you also get a nice even sound too. You get more control.
Great.